Hey everyone, this Millennial Investor here with my February update on my Lending Club and Prosper accounts. Now, I've officially been with Lending Club for 2 years now. This is my 24-month update, and it's been positive throughout the entire experience, although there have definitely been better months and worse months. And unfortunately, even though this is month 24, it's probably leaning towards one of those worse months. So I didn't take any loss or anything, but for the month of February, and you got to remember, I always start at $6,000. I'm at $6,000 or $6,018.40. So only a gain of about $18 or so for the 31-day month of January, and that's fairly low, especially considering last month I was between $30 and $40. So definitely not as much. Definitely taking some hits though. And we can just take a look over here to see what this all looks like. A lot of them are fully paying, and the grace period notes are definitely down from where they usually are, only 3, although I do got a decent amount in that 31 to 120 day. But if I jump over to these grace notes real quick, I want to point out this one over here. And that's because since I started reinvesting with Lending Club, like I was pulling out money, since I started reinvesting with them, I've been very, very careful about what notes I invest in. Pretty much almost exclusively investing in A notes. But there's been a few non-A notes that I've invested in because like they seemed pretty good, and from what I could gather, they seemed like notes that would pay out. Like they seemed like very safe notes. And I try to be cautious. So like this one here, 790 credit score, only requesting $6,000. So, why would you damage your credit score over 6,000? To me, I don't live in that world, but I guess some people do because you're going to take a hit for that. And just looking at it, assembler for 10 plus years, dual income here, reasonable debt to income ratio, revolving credit balance, everything seems so good about this note. Yet, you know, 30 days later, they don't pay. So I'm probably going to take a hit and a loss from that of the full $25, which isn't something you want to see. But at the same time, I always feel like if you never even made an attempt to pay, like this note here, they never even tried to make one payment, and you got to think they just got $6,000, but they didn't even try to make one payment. To me, that's kind of like theft. They just essentially stole a bunch of people's money with no intent to actually ever pay, because there's no way they just blew off $6,000 with dual income and couldn't pay it back. Not with that debt to income ratio, not with those numbers. So there's definitely an underlying cause here, but like I said, to me it's this kind of like they just stole my money and a bunch of other people's money. And that's kind of one of the unfortunate sides of the platform. Like it can happen and you'll take a loss and they'll hit their credit score, but I guess they don't really give a sorry, they don't really care. So, yeah, I mean, I'm over it and we'll see what happens with that. Other than that, though, things have been doing pretty well. We can take a look at these ones over here, and you'll see that every single one of these notes made a solid attempt to pay, but you'll also notice that none of them are A notes. So just that theory I have that A notes tend to always pay out because when I look at the end of the day at my charged off notes, which ones have charged off, which ones haven't, to this day, I don't have a single A note on this list, and that's why I've been trying to stick with those A notes. Okay, and if we just quickly take a look at all the details, so let's head into the more details category. Still over 12.5%, even though I'm only seeing about 6 and a bit percent on that. Decent accrued interest and, solid numbers for the month in terms of what may default, maybe $100 worth of notes, things like that. But overall, generally fairly good. Okay, so that's the lending club side of things. I'll reset that back to $6,000 for this next month. And on the Prosper side of things, $479. I believe I extracted about $25 or so. I've regained about another 25, which I'll be removing soon. Now, the notes on this side also, I believe I have 2 or 3 right now, probably 3 that are in that late category. And if all these 3 kind of run through, it's definitely going to hit this annualized return number and reduce it. Now, in terms of the portfolio, they've kind of updated their interface on their like note viewing interface now. So this is what it looks like right now. It's really cool. It's really flashy. You can see all your information, very clean, very clear numbers compared to their old interface. My issue with it though is that you can only see 10 notes at once. And in the old interface, you could see them all if you wanted to. They all listed down, so you could just scroll up and down. And now I can only see 10 at once, and then I have to flip to another page. So if I had, I have less than 50 notes, but if I had hundreds of notes, it would take a while to click through it, and there's no decent way of like filtering through it. I guess I haven't actually checked. But let's say if I went from February 2016, if it lets me, all the way to February 2018. Yeah, and you can only really see 10 notes at once. So even though I can adjust it and do things like that, it's kind of limited. So I like how it looks. I just kind of wished that the how many notes I could see was different. So there's no good clean way to see all my late notes right now because I click status and it looks like it just kind of filters through it and things like that. So yeah, a couple of them are late, but they've attempted to make their payments and whatnot. Okay, jumping back just to take you to my final numbers, if I can still get there. I believe, yeah, they still have their classic view. And also they've released their 1099s and the OIDs and the Gs, the 1099 Gs and all that other stuff they release. So I'll have a video talking about how I do my taxes with Lending Club and Prosper because I feel like that's important information. Okay, so just a breakdown, crazy, my average day notes or note age is 564 days. I started this very, very soon after Lending Club, so this is also almost 2 years old as well. And yeah, things are looking good, but I've had a lot of charge-offs, and compared to what I've made, it's definitely taken quite a bite out of those earnings. Okay, well, I hope you found this video useful. I'll release another update next month. And there's definitely going to be some releases on my taxes and other information and of the sort later on this month. So stay tuned. And this is the Millennial Investor signing out. Peace.